Hi guys, how are you today? I hope you're doing amazing. Um I'm doing fine, thank you. Today I wanted to film my bookshelf tour. Even though I just have a small bookshelf, I thought it could also be really fun. Like later on, if I maybe have more books and my collection grows a lot, to see, the difference and just compare the two. So I thought it would be fun to show my current bookshelf, and yeah, just a nice little video to watch. This is my bookshelf. That's all we're gonna do today. I'm currently leaning against it, by the way, because I'm way too lazy to stand on my own. Great personality traits, laziness, it's a struggle. Um, I'll be going through them row by row and just be talking a little bit about how I organize my books. And I'm not going to go too much into detail about each book because we would literally be here for a decade. Even though my collection is small, that's still a lot. So I'll see you in the next clip. Okay, so this is the top row. The top row consists of only hardcovers. All my hardcovers except a few, which you can see down there. Yeah, let's start over here. I organize each row individually in alphabetical order. I used to have my entire shelf like color coordinated, but I get bored with everything very fast. So this is just all my hardcovers we got over here. And then a little bit down here. Yeah, starting here, I got a thriller. I haven't read that yet. I don't know if it's any good because it's kind of big and I don't know, it's scaring me. So yeah, I got two Dan Browns. Also, I do want to show you this. That book is gonna fall, isn't it? Ooh, it didn't. This is the one I was gonna show you actually. Okay, first of all, that's pretty, but then look at this. This is, to me, this is like the prettiest naked back of a hardcover I own. Honestly, it's so beautiful. Like the detail here. I love it so much. I think it's so great. So, yes, that. Then we just continue here. This is a book that sounds super, super boring to me, but I only bought it because I think the cover is pretty. Like, that's literally the only reason I bought this book. I was at the thrift store and it was like €1. So I was like, this is so pretty, I'm gonna buy it. And here we are. Haven't read it, kind of not planning on reading it because I figured out afterwards that this is nonfiction, so that is just boring. I buy a lot of my books at the thrift store. Like, I recently found this one at the thrift store for also like €1. All of these. This book, highly recommend. Once again, if you've seen my reading vlog, you know my thoughts on this. This book, guys, I love this one. I think it's so beautiful. Now, we all know H.P. Lovecraft is a racist and downright horrible person. But we can also not deny the fact that he's an amazing writer. And this letterbound edition is just really pretty. And then there, we see a book of J.K. What's-Her-Face. Yeah, we don't talk about her. So yeah, that was that. The Hate You Give, Hold On Tight, Don't Let Go. I have some middle grade books like this one. 100 Hours of the Night is also a middle grade book. Premeditated and Life After Theft are also middle grade. So that. Then from here on out, this is the second shelf. This is paperbacks, and everything below this on a few editions are paperback. So I got the I got the Game of Thrones series, and this is very intimidating to me. I have not read it. I do want to, but it is a little bit scary. So I don't know. I want to start that. I feel like I want to read it this winter because I have nothing better to do with my life. And since it's so much, I have enough books to read to pass the time, you know. Then moving on, we have the Red Queen series. I hate this thing going on, but since this is one of my favorite series, I wanted to like show the front of one because I love this cover. But it's a paperback, so this keeps happening and it's annoying. And if I take one book, I recently had this one out because I was reading it, and in the middle of the night this book just fell down and I straight up had a heart attack. Like, I thought there was some ghost coming to attack me. Guys, it was a lot. So this is my Red Queen series. As you can tell, I have many different publishers, so they're not all the same size, and it's kind of annoying, but I'm gonna buy these in hardcover, and I also want to buy the special editions of these two. Then moving on, you have The Handmaid's Tale, The Darkest Minds. I've heard a lot of good things about this series. I actually got this on accident because it was bought for my sister, but my sister doesn't read books, like, at all. So here we are. The Shallow Graves. Does anyone know if this is good? I bought this at a thrift store as well, and I don't know, it sounded kind of interesting, but it was €1 and 50% off, so I just took it, but I don't even know if I'm like that interested in it. So that's one problem with me, is the fact that let me get myself in frame. Better light. I don't necessarily have like a book buying problem, but if a book is cheap, there's no way I'm not buying it, because my collection used to be like a lot more than this, but I gave away a lot of my books to like, I donate a lot of my books because I was supposed to move out of the country, and then I didn't. But it was still a good like book cleanup. I gave away books that I either didn't like or that really didn't do anything for me, and I realized that other people would get a lot more joy out of reading those than I would just letting them like collect dust on my shelf, right? But still, I buy a lot of books not knowing whether I like it or not, just because it's cheap. So it is a little bit of a problem. And so yeah, that is this shelf. Then we go here. One shelf below it, still just paperbacks. Reading this one this month. I'm about to start it tonight, actually, so you'll see all my thoughts about this and the other books in like either a wrap up or just a review of some of the books. This series. Have not read it. I'm missing one book, but that's also a thing about me. I honestly buy books and then buy the entire series immediately because I hate not having an entire series. And even if I hate it, like, I've already bought the entire series. So I shouldn't do that, but it bugs me to not do it for reasons like this. I just want to, like, this is annoying. Also different. The heights, yeah. Shatter Me series. I'm missing the last book. I ordered it yesterday, so that's coming in. As you can tell by how janky and beat up the first one is. Like, before I had all these books, I would read the series over and over again. So that's what you can tell. This one is the most beat up. Then this one is hardly touched. And this one is in pretty good state for how often I've read it. And then these are basically new condition. So those are good. But I love this series. Like, this book is falling apart. Like, the front is starting to fall off, and I want to buy those hardcover as well. Then we're over here, some other books. All of the books that are still on my shelf are books that I really liked, or books that I just think are pretty, honestly. One shelf below that, we still have paperbacks going on. Zadie Smith is honestly one of my favorite authors. Her writing is so beautiful to me. So I really love that. I'm rereading Swing Time currently, so that's why my bookmark is in here. But since I've already read it, I am taking it at a very slow pace and just reading a few like chapters whenever I feel like it. Then from here on out, it is basically classics. As you can tell probably by looking at this, is the fact that I have multiple like editions of the same books. Whenever I find a few of my favorite classics at the thrift store, I just buy different editions. And one thing I love about that is, let me give you an example. For starters, there's this one. I feel like it's very, very pretty. It has gold sprayed edges. And I just think it's very, very cute. I bought this for like 50 cents. And the dust jacket isn't obviously in the best condition it could be in, but I feel like that also gives it character, because it just reminds me that there were people before me that read this. And with that topic, there's also this book. There's this one of Pride and Prejudice. You can tell the person that owned this really loved it and read it so often. And if you look into it, they annotated so much. When you read this and you're also Jesus, can I talk?
Have you ever had a dream that you want him to do you so much you could do anything?
It's like when reading this, you're also reading it as the person before you read it. Like, I don't know. I just love seeing what other people picked up in the book. I don't know. I just feel like there's so much character in books, and stories carried on for so long. It's just, I love it. I wonder, it just makes me think, you know? Like, it just makes me think about what the person reading this was thinking and who are they, you know? I just fantasize about who the person reading this was and what they did and why they loved this book and how old they maybe even were, because this specific copy, it's like so yellow on the inside. Like, you can tell that it's old. This was published in 1962. Like, who was this and what was their story? I just really like that. I mean, I can understand why people wouldn't like use books that are like annotated and stuff, but I think it has so much character and like emotion behind it, so I really like that. So those are all my paperback classics. Then I found this beautiful collection at the thrift store as well, also for like €1. Let me scoot you over. And I just think it's so pretty. It has all these stories in it. And I just really like it. So you go back over there. Like that. And you go back over there. Also found this really old copy of My Uncle Oswald by Roald Dahl. And the complete works of Oscar Wilde. Then over here we have this big fat The Complete Works of William Shakespeare, which I am never in my life going to read this. I bought this because I really wanted to read Shakespeare. And I was like, oh, wow, a complete collection. That would be amazing. Just having everything in one book. But, guys, when I tell you this paper is so thin, I can literally, like, I can see all my mistakes right through it. Like, you can already tell about how like floppy this is. Look at that. Look at that. It's see-through. Do you hear that? I had so much hopes for this. Like, I was so happy because it has all the plays in it. It's like, it's so, but then Yeah, this is like, I feel like this is every reader's worst nightmare. One could argue it's about the contents and not about, but you know, it also has to be a good reading experience. I was just so triggered and I just never continued. But here we have a few leather-bound classics that I have. I have Great Expectations by Charles Dickens, and I have A Christmas Carol, also Charles Dickens. And then my last shelf, which is this beautiful thing, is my ever-growing collection of cloth-bound classics. And I just wanna admire this with y'all for a second. Like, I feel like the cloth-bound ones are so beautiful. And I'm just really happy. So I got all of those. It's just classics, but cloth-bound. And then I have two books one poetry book by a Dutch, like, influencer guy. I don't know. Which is pretty funny. It's just kind of weird. And then I have this book, Goat Person and Other Tales. And this is so weird. Like it's just this weird dude. And everything is about him, and it's like, bottomless cup of coffee, $2, and then the cup has no bottom. So it's just a lot of like comics. And it's like, Father, how come you have a barcode on your forehead? And it's just like wrinkles because he's old. And I just think this is very funny. I found this at a thrift store and I couldn't like leave it behind. I'd never seen this before or heard of this before, but I think it's so funny. Like, it's all going too fast. I can't keep up with the Joneses anymore. Perhaps his wife or something, like, we are the Joneses. And he's like, are we? Of course we are. Take a look at your driver's license. Good heavens, you're absolutely right, dingbat. That proves I was saying in the first place. He can't keep up with himself. That's the whole joke. So this is just kind of weird. And I just think it's funny and I love it. This file over here is my nonfiction. And I want to get rid of this. Like, not get rid of it as in, like, getting rid of the books. But I want to get rid of this on my shelf. Like, I hate these books. Like, they're ugly. They don't look good with the rest. But they're very interesting and very nice books. So I don't want to, like, get rid of them. I just don't think they look good on my shelf. Which, you know, it is what it is. Yeah, this book is just about, like, yeah, exactly as the title says, like, just becoming a better and different person. Then this book is about distractions and how to be more focused and productive. And these two books are about, like, racism and those matters. Then we have Sapiens. We all know what Sapiens is. This is, like, a little bit of, like, bite-sized philosophy. Then we have Factfulness. Hated that book. I think it was actually really bad. I don't know why people loved it so much. Then here is Why We Should All Be Feminists. It's like 20 pages or like 40 pages. And it's just, I don't know, I really liked it. I think it's really good. And then this is a book about Jesus, as you can tell. So that was my entire bookshelf. Can you see it? Yeah, you can see it. Ignore this whole mess. You know, folding clothes is very hard. I have some space down there to put other stuff, but I don't have books yet to go there, except that one book down there, but it's a double, and I don't like that edition, so I'm gonna sell it or, like, donate it. A medal which shouldn't be there. European Championships, you get out. Yeah, so this is everything. So that was my bookshelf. Not much to say about it. Now you know what books I own. I am really thinking of, like, finding more places to store books, because I am planning on buying, like, a lot of more books, like, all at once I have the money to do so, because there are so many books that I really, really want to read, and I just don't want to buy one book at a time. I don't know why. I just want to buy all the books at once, even though I know that I obviously can't read all the books at the same time, so what's the point in me buying all the books at once? But it is what it is. I have some weird traits. So yeah, those are my books. I hope you enjoyed this video. I'll see you once I have updated or changed anything about this to a degree where it's worth making another video about. So probably if I add like more shelves or completely change the layout of everything, then you'll see me again in this kind of setting. And yeah, I hope you're doing amazing today. I hope everything you wished for is coming through, and I hope you get to live out your wildest dreams. Anyway, have an amazing rest of your day. I love you and see you in the next video. Bye, guys.